for King Von and proud to be here today. I not only have the pleasure of introducing our next Prime Minister, but I have the honor and to tell you a little bit about this young man, because he's a lot younger than I am. He has been an instrument of change. He has united this party like I've never seen before. He cares about every single person in this country. His hard work, common sense revolution is going to change Canada and fix what's broken. He's going to put the hurt back to hope so that we all have a place where we can live and thrive. Pierre is married to a wonderful woman, Anna, which I'm kind of glad I got her name. 2 beautiful children, Valentina and Cruz. He is dedicated to this country, and we are thankful to have him. And we are also, I want to mention this because sometimes we forget, his wife has sacrificed a lot to have this man represent all of us. I am so honored to introduce to you the next Prime Minister of Canada, the Honourable Pierre Poilievre.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying Darud Ba Shama. Some practice, I think. Thank you very much to the wonderful Persian community and so many others who've come here to gather today to celebrate our freedom and to bring home the Canada that we know and love. Who is ready to make Canada the freest country on earth? Who's ready to axe the carbon tax? Who's ready to have a home you can afford so you can move out of your mom's basement? Does everyone here live in their mom's basement? Not everybody. 1 or 2 have been able to get out, okay? Well, listen, this is a country that has done so much for me. I'm very blessed to be a Canadian. We all are, in our own way. Even though our stories seem different, they're really all the same. I was born to a 16-year-old mother who put me up for adoption to 2 school teachers. They taught me that in Canada, it didn't matter where I came from, it mattered where I was going, it didn't matter who I knew, but what I could do. And that's the country my wife came to as a refugee. And it's the country that we want for our kids and yours. But it's not the country that we see when we look around us today. After 8 years of Trudeau, everything costs more. Hard work no longer pays. Housing costs have doubled. Crime, chaos, drugs and disorder are common in our streets, and our freedom is under attack by a Prime Minister who insults the populations, censors the internet, and sides with foreign dictatorships against our own people. This is not the country that we know and love. It is not the country that you came to or that your parents came to as immigrants. But the good news is, Canada was not like this before Justin Trudeau, and it won't be like this after he's gone. We'll replace the hurt he has caused by all and we're going to do it based on common sense. We're going to get back to common sense values. A country that rewards hard work, where hard work earns a powerful paycheck that buys nutritious food and a decent home and retirement in a safe neighborhood and a free country. How are we going to do it? First, we're going to bring home lower prices by axing the carbon tax to lower the cost of gas, heat, and groceries. That tax, you might just see that when you're buying gas or heat, but it goes on everything that is transported by a truck. If it goes in a truck, the carbon tax makes it more expensive because the trucker has to pay the tax. Now Trudeau and the NDP want to quadruple the tax to 61 cents a litre from 14. I worry about the seniors who will have to choose between eating and heating if and when that ever happens. But we will axe the tax to make things more affordable. We're also going to bring back strong, hard money in this country. Our central bank has been printing cash for Trudeau to spend. He's doubled our national debt, adding more debt than all prior prime ministers combined. That's increased the money supply from $1.8 trillion to $2.4 trillion, a $600 billion increase, or 32% increase in our money supply, during which time the economy only grew by 4%. So we have 8 times faster growth in the money than we have in the growth of the things that money buys. No wonder we're bidding up the cost of everything, which now forces interest rates up on our mortgages. We have to stop printing cash to pay our bills. This magical thinking has got to end. We need to pay our bills with real money. So I will cap government spending, cut government waste, balance the budget so that we're no longer borrowing the money. And I'll get the central bank back to its core job, which is to protect the purchasing power of our money by keeping inflation low, not printing money for politicians. We're going to bring home powerful paychecks. Hard work no longer pays in Canada. You make it, Trudeau takes it. High income taxes, payroll taxes, and clawbacks mean that a single mom earning 60 grand a year who earns an extra dollar loses 80 cents of that dollar to the government. That means if she earns 25 bucks an hour, she only keeps 5 bucks of that extra hour she works. That's ridiculous. I will reform the clawbacks, cut income taxes, so you bring home more of each dollar you earn, and hard work once again pays off in this country. And we're going to make it possible for our brilliant immigrants to work in their professions. We have 20,000 immigrant nurses, 20,000 immigrant doctors, 32,000 immigrant nurses who cannot work because they have no direct path to prove their qualifications. A Poilievre-led government will work with the provinces on a national Blue Seal testing standard so immigrant doctors, nurses, engineers, architects can take an exam, prove they are qualified, and get to work earning powerful paychecks within 60 days. Powerful paychecks by developing our resources here in Canada. Why is it that we're importing 130,000 barrels of overseas oil every single day from foreign dictatorships when we have the 3rd biggest supply on planet Earth? No longer will we as Canadians cede the market for energy to dirty dictatorships, including the one in Tehran. We will produce more energy and we will sell it to the world to bring home the money to this country. Bring homes you can afford. Right now we have, after 8 years of Trudeau, housing costs have doubled. Rent has doubled, mortgage payments have doubled, the needed down payment has doubled. Why? Well, because of all the money printing has driven up demand, and all the bureaucracy blocks supply. We have the fewest houses per capita of any country in the G7, even though we have the most land to build on. That's why American homes are 25 to 50% cheaper than Canadian homes. You go to Niagara, it's half the price for a home on the American side compared to the Canadian side. Toronto's now the worst housing market in the world, according to UBS. Vancouver is the 5th. If you measure it by income, the median income to median house price, Vancouver is the 3rd most expensive place in the world. Toronto the 10th. Worse than New York, worse than London, worse than Singapore, which is a tiny island with 2,000 times more people per square kilometer than we have here in Canada. It doesn't make sense. We need to build homes, but bureaucracy blocks home building with the 2nd slowest building permits of any country in the OECD. Bureaucracy means that it takes 7 or 8 years to build a home, adding $1.2 million to the cost of the average home in Vancouver and $350,000 to the average cost in Toronto. That's not a cost of lumber, labor, or land. It's the cost of government, taxes, and bureaucracy. A Poilievre-led government will require local city halls get out of the way, free up land, and speed up permits as a condition of getting federal money. I will require every big city in Canada permit 15% more home building, or they'll lose their federal cash. Those that beat the 15% target are going to get a building bonus, so that they are incentivized to speed up the bureaucracy, grant faster permits, so that we can build. Every single federally funded transit station will be required to have high sky-rise apartments newly built so seniors and students can live right next to the bus or train, and I'll sell off 6,000 federal buildings and thousands of acres of federal land so we can build, 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 build. That's how we're going to safety to our streets. After 8 years of Trudeau crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder reigns in our streets. Crime's up 40%, shootings up 101%, gang killings have more than doubled in just 8 years. Why? Simple. Very small number of repeat violent criminals are repeatedly released onto our streets the same day they are arrested. In Vancouver, they had to arrest the same criminals, the same 40 criminals, 6,000 times. Can you imagine that? 40 guys arrested 6,000 times in 1 year. That's 150 arrests per criminal per year. They're released the same day. Trudeau passed C-75, catch and release. So you do a crime in the morning, you get released by noon, go have lunch, go rob another bank, get arrested, go get your bail, just get out just in time for dinner, have a nice dinner, wash it down with a cold beer, and go do another crime before you go to bed, right? The good news is we don't have a lot of criminals in Canada. The bad news is they're very productive. In fact, did you hear about the robbery in Ottawa, Anna? A robber walked up to a guy and said, "Give me all your money." The guy said, "Wait a second here, I'm Justin Trudeau." And the criminal said, "Well, in that case, give me all my money." Here's my common sense plan. We're going to end catch and release and bring in a law that brings jail and not bail for repeat violent offenders. They're going to go behind bars and stay behind bars so they don't come out and reoffend. We're going to stop giving out tax-funded drugs, or we're going to reverse the decriminalization of heroin, crack, and other hard drugs in British Columbia and make sure that Toronto never has decriminalized crack and cocaine. We don't need that. And we're going to put the money into treatment and detox to help people get off drugs and bring our loved ones home drug-free. This is our approach. We're also going to bring home our freedom again. Canada should be the freest country in the world. But Trudeau's brought in censorship laws to control what's online. He's actually caused news articles to disappear from social media networks. He has attacked people for their personal medical decisions. He's tried to divide people along racial, sexual, vaccination, and other unnecessary demarcation lines. We need a Prime Minister that does not divide and conquer, but unites for freedom. So I will repeal the censorship laws and put you back in charge of the internet. I'll make sure there are no more mandates, no mandatory digital ID, no central bank digital currency, and I will ban all my ministers from any involvement in the World Economic Forum. Stop the interference by foreign dictatorships in our country. Absolutely. So we know that, for example, China is running police stations in Canada that are intimidating the diaspora Chinese population in this country. We know they've interfered in two elections to help Trudeau win, and why wouldn't they? He said he admires their basic communist dictatorship, and so they want to have someone who admires them as our Prime Minister. I want to end that. We're going to bring in a full public inquiry, and we will also make sure that any foreign agents are exposed in this country. It's not just from Beijing, it's also from Tehran. We have in this country Justin Trudeau refuses to answer the basic question. And I see it at the back of the room there. Spin around there, Winston. Spin around. Look at it. Is the IRGC a terrorist group? Yes or no? Yes, it is. A Pierre Poilievre-led government will criminalize the IRGC as terrorists, and we will expel them from the country. these terrorists to stay in our country after they robbed the Iranian people. This cannot be a safe haven for terrorists or tyrants. This is Canada. These are our people. This is our home. We'll put them on the list. We'll make sure that anyone who is conscripted is protected, but we will put all of the IRGC, the entire organization, on a criminal ban list. We'll make it impossible and illegal for anyone helping the IRGC to act in Canada for that purpose. That will allow us to freeze money, expel them from our country, and protect our people who believe that they are being intimidated. We hear the stories. Our MPs hear the stories of Canadians of Iranian origin who say that they feel unsafe. You know, there was the former police chief from Tehran. He was seen working on his abs at the gym. He's at the gym, feeling great. After he helped Minister of Health. Montreal. Enjoying a crepe, maybe. The butchers who have attacked the Iranian people, who have literally killed and have targeted women in particular, are then coming to Canada to enjoy the stolen plunder they took from the Iranian people. This ought to be against the law, and we're going to make sure we identify these people so they never get in, and those that have come will be expelled from our country. Fantastic, and I want to announce that we actually have a conservative private members bill from MP Garnet Jennings that will specifically list the IRGC. There will be a vote. Tell them to vote to ban the IRGC. They will have the chance to vote in Parliament. Tell your MP to vote the right way. Are you going to do that? Tell your MP. Sign our petitions. Spread the word. Hit the forward button on all of our posts on this so that we can collect as many names of fellow patriotic Canadians that want to protect our country from terrorism. My friends, I know that it feels hopeless right now, but the good news is that we can turn things around. We can put the pieces back together. That's what we're going to do. This is our country. This is Canada. This is our home. Let's bring it home, everybody. God bless Canada.
Here in Canada, the justice means listing the IRGCs on the list of the terrorist act, as you said, and the Magnitsky Act for Iranian officials and the member of the IRGCs and the regime of Iran, and also supporting the families of the victims' families here in Canada. Here, not in the world, in reality. What you're going to do when you're going to be Prime Minister in this country to achieving this goal. Here, we do not have a justice with the Trudeau's government. Basically, there is no justice.
Yes, we will. So the question is, what are we going to do about 752, right?
Exactly.
Yes, we are going to prosecute the Iranian regime at the International Criminal Court. We are going to target all of the regime members who were involved in this massive terrorist attack against our people with sanctions, crippling sanctions. And we're going to work with our allies to enforce those sanctions so that those that committed the crimes are held accountable on the international stage. We will continue to stand up against Iran in every international fora, and we will demand justice and compensation for the families of the terrorist attack against 752. We will also, I will seek to seize assets of the Iranian regime to pay compensation to the families as the least we can do, which is never going to be enough. We can never, ever attempt to pay for the cost of a lost life. That is the least that we can do for the families who have lost their life. Now,
okay, excuse me for just 1 minute. I'm really, really sorry. I know that you have a lot of questions. Unfortunately, Pierre has a lot of events and a lot of promises that he's made, and he's one person that I can tell you from personal experience that likes to stick to his promises. So I hope what you heard today will allow you to go out and spread his message around your communities so that we can form a majority government and get this liberal government out of power so that we can make the changes that you deserve. We also need you to line up here on my left side if you'd like a quick picture with Pierre, and then you can exit from the right. So please form the line up here. Thank you. All right? I appreciate it.